Hello everyone. Today we will solve some numerical problems on our study topic based on radiation. We have studied all the topics related to radiation. We have studied black body spectrum. We have seen some basic definitions. We have seen all the related laws that used to explain the black body spectrum. We have seen the limitation of classical theories, and afterwards we have also derived the Planck's theory, which successfully explained the radiation spectrum. Afterwards we have learned about some instruments that are used to measure the temperature and the radiation. We have also learned about the solar constant, and then we have learned the method to calculate the value of solar constant using the radiation method. Okay, so today we will understand all these topics by with the help of numericals. So the objective of today's lecture is to understand the concept of radiation and black body radiation spectrum with the help of numericals. The outcome, as is clear from the title of the lecture, you will be able to solve the practical problems based on black body radiation as well as related topics and laws. Okay, so let us start with numerical number one, which is saying two large closely spaced concentric spheres, both are considered as black body radiators, and these are maintained at temperatures 200 and 300 Kelvin respectively. The space in between the two spheres is evacuated. Calculate the net rate of energy transfer between the two spheres. The given value of sigma is 5.672 into 10 to the power minus 8 in MKS unit. So what is given here? The two temperatures of both the black bodies are given. That is T1 equals to 300 Kelvin and T2 equals to 200 Kelvin, right? And the second thing is given is sigma, the value of Stephen constant, that is 5.672 into 10 to the power minus 8 in MKS unit, right? And here also we are taking Kelvin, so there should be no issue. Now, the formula for the rate of energy transfer is given by Stephen's law, and that says E equals to sigma into T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4, where T2 is the temperature of black body, that is inside, and T1 is the temperature of the black body, which is outside. So we can calculate it by putting the values, that is 5.672 into 10 to the power minus 8 into putting the value of T1 as 300 to the power 4 minus putting the value of T2 here 200 to the power 4. When we solve this, we get the answer as E equals to 368.68 watts per meter square. So this is the way how to use Stephen's law. Okay, now we will go to numerical number 2. Here in this numerical, it is asking to calculate the surface temperature of sun and moon. Here it is given lambda m value, that is 4753 angstrom and 14 micron respectively for sun and moon. The lambda m is the wavelength of maximum intensity of emission, right? So that lambda m, as we have already studied in the Wien's displacement law, lambda m is the maximum intensity of emission, the wavelength where the intensity of emission is maximum. So we know already Wien's displacement law, what it is: lambda m into T, the multiplication of wavelength at highest intensity and the absolute temperature, is always constant, and the constant value, Wien's constant value, was given as 0.2898. So we will use this equation for this question. Now we are calculating now first for sun and then we'll follow for the moon in the same way. So for the sun, the lambda m is given by 4753 angstrom. Okay, let us change it into centimeter. That is 4753 into 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. So the temperature can be calculated from lambda m is this one into T equals to this. So T will be equals to 0.2898 divided by 4753 into 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter, right? So when we solve this, we get the final answer as 6097 Kelvin, right? And that temperature is quite similar to what is assumed as a ideal temperature or as a normal temperature for sun. We always assume the temperature of sun is as 6000 Kelvin. Okay. Now if we calculate the temperature of moon, what will be the value? It is already given. The lambda m value is 14 micron. If we change it into centimeter, it becomes 14 into 10 to the power minus 4 centimeter. So the temperature of moon will be Tm equals to 0.2898 divided by 14 into 10 to the power minus 4. If we solve this, we get 207 Kelvin. So this is the temperature of sun and moon using Wien's displacement law, right? Now we will see the next example, numerical number 3. Here we have to calculate the maximum amount of heat which may be lost per second by the radiation from a sphere of 5 centimeter in diameter, that is at a temperature of 600 Kelvin when placed in an enclosure at a temperature of 300 Kelvin. Here the value of Stephen constant sigma is given as 5.7 into 10 to the power minus 12 watts per centimeter square, degree centigrade to the power minus 4. This is the value of sigma, right? Now the rate of loss of thermal energy will be maximum if the sphere radiates as black body. That is very clear, because for a black body the rate of loss of thermal energy will be maximum, right? Applying the Stephen Boltzmann's law, the net energy lost per unit area of a sphere per second is given by E equals to sigma into T to the power 4 minus T naught to the power 4. Now, where we can consider that T and T naught are the absolute temperatures of sphere and the surroundings respectively, right? This is, we always consider the T is the inside one black body temperature and T naught is the surrounding or the other black body temperature which is surrounded of the inner black body, and sigma is the Stephen constant. The total surface area of the sphere can be given by 4 pi r square, where r is the radius of a sphere. So the total net loss of heat from the total surface of the sphere will be equals to Q is equal to E into 4 pi r square. Now putting the value of E from the above equation from the Stephen Boltzmann's law, we get Q equals to sigma into T to the power 4 minus T naught to the power 4 into 4 pi r square. But to convert it into calorie per second, we divide it by J. Now here you see all the parameters are known, are given in the question. For example, R equals to 2.5 centimeter. Okay, and this is the 5 centimeter is the diameter, so 2.5 centimeter is the radius R. And if we convert it into meter, MKS unit, it will become 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. The temperature is given as 600 Kelvin, so that is T equals to 600 Kelvin, and T naught is the surroundings temperature, that is 300 Kelvin. Okay, so T naught is 300 Kelvin, and the value of Stephen constant is given here in the bracket, 5.7 into 10 to the power minus 12 watts per centimeter square, and per centimeter per degree centigrade to the power 4, right? Now if we convert it into MKS unit, we will get the value of 5.7 into 10 to the power minus 8 watts per meter square, Kelvin to the power 4. And the value of J we already know, that is 4.2 joule per Kelvin, right? Now if we put all these values in this equation, Q equals to sigma T to the power 4 minus T naught to the power 4 into 4 pi r square upon J, we will get the answer Q equals to 12.944 calorie per second. Now let us go to next numerical, which is stating that if a black body at a temperature 6174 Kelvin emits 4700 angstrom with maximum energy, okay, calculate the temperature at which it will emit a wavelength of 1.4 into 10 to the power minus 5 meter with maximum energy. So we know already the Wien's displacement law is saying lambda m into t equals to constant. Or we can say if there are like two different bodies, then we can call it lambda mt equals to lambda m dash t dash. If we rearrange it, because we have like temperature and the wavelength, right? Here also we are getting the wavelength, we have to calculate the temperature. So we are writing it temperature dash T dash equals to lambda mt upon lambda m dash. Putting the value of lambda m, that is 4700 angstrom, in that we can convert into meter, that will become 4700 into 10 to the minus 10 into 6174 Kelvin, that is the value of T, divided by this wavelength. So it will become 1.4 into 10 to the minus 5 meter. Here it is given in meter, that's why we have converted also into meter. So it will give the value of T dash as 207.27 Kelvin. Okay, this is the solution for this numerical. Now we will go to next numerical, which is saying an aluminum foil of relative emittance 0.1 is placed in between two concentric spheres at temperatures 300 and 200 Kelvin respectively. Calculate the temperature of the foil after the steady state reach. Ensure that the spheres are perfect black body radiators. Also calculate the rate of energy transfer between one of the sphere and the foil. Here the value of Stephen constant sigma is given as 5.672 into 10 to the minus 8 mks. Okay, now let us see how to solve this. Here the values of T1 and T2 is given. You can see here 300 and 200 Kelvin respectively. The value of E is given, that is the relative emittance, and that is equals to 0.1. Now the first thing we have to calculate is the value of X. Now let X be the temperature of the foil after the steady state is reached. Then the formula says E into sigma into T1 to the power 4 minus X to the power 4, that is the temperature of foil, equals to E into sigma into X to the power 4 minus T to the power 4. Now you can see from here E sigma and E sigma will cancel out each other, and the remaining part will be 300 to the power 4 minus X to the power 4 equals to X to the power 4 minus 200 to the power 4. From here we can take the X to the power 4 on one side, it will become 2x to the power 4 equals to 97 into 10 to the power 8. Now if we do this, if we solve this, we will get the value of X equals to 263.8 Kelvin. Okay, this is the temperature of the foil. Now we have to calculate the energy transfer between the one of the sphere and the foil, and that can be measured by using Stephen's Boltzmann's law, that is given by E equals to E sigma into T1 to the power 4 minus XL to the power 4, X to the power 4. Put values of each parameter. We know here E is given as 0.1, sigma is 5.672 into 10 to the power minus 8 into T1 is 300 and X is already calculated here to 63.8. When we solve this equation, when we solve this expression just by simple mathematics, we get the answer as 18.5 watts per meter square. So that is the question. Now the next question is saying a black body has its cavity in the shape of cube. Okay, determine the number of modes of vibration per unit volume in wavelength range 4990 angstrom to 5010 angstrom. Okay, we already know that the number of modes per cc in the wavelength range lambda and lambda plus d lambda in HM bar is given by n equals to 8 pi lambda 8 pi into d lambda upon lambda to the power 4. Here we are getting the value d lambda, that is 5010 minus 4990 equals to, that will give you the answer 20 angstrom, which can be converted into centimeter, and that will become 20 into 10 to the power minus 10 centimeter, and the lambda is given as 5000 angstrom. Here it is misprinted, 5000 angstrom, that will be equals to 5000 into 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. So putting all these values, n equals to 8 into 3.14 into 20 into 10 to the power minus 8 divide by 5000 into 10 to the power minus 8 to the power 4, and the answer will become 8.038 into 10 to the power 11. So that is the number of modes of vibration per unit volume in the wavelength region of 4990 to 500 angstrom. Now the next numerical is the order of magnitude of the energy received from the sun at Earth's surface is 10 to the power minus 1 joule per centimeter square per second. Calculate the order of magnitude of the total force due to solar radiation on the earth, assumed perfectly absorbing. Here it is assumed that it is perfectly absorbing. Now the given parameter is earth diameter is equals to 10 to the power 7 meter. Now we know that the energy that is received from the sun at Earth's surface per unit area per second is given by E equals to 10 to the power minus 1 joule per centimeter square second, or that we can write as 10 to the power minus 3 joule per meter square per second. So we have also derived one expression for the pressure exerted by radiation, and that pressure, radiation pressure P is equal to E upon C. Here E is given as 10 to the power minus 3 divided by C. We already know the velocity of light, that is calculated, right? Now the value of radiation pressure we got 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 6 Newton per meter square. Now the total force due to solar radiation on the earth will be equals to that radiation pressure P into the surface area of the earth. So that will be given by 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 6 into the surface area of earth. So that is 4 pi r square. So the answer is 3.33 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 4 into 3.14 into 10 to the power 7 divided by 2 का whole square, and the answer will become 1.059 into 10 to the power 9 n. This is the force due to solar radiation on the earth. Now next example is asking to calculate the average energy epsilon of an oscillator of frequency 0.60 into 10 to the power 14 per second at temperature 1800 Kelvin. Now treating it as classical oscillator and Planck's oscillator. There is a huge difference between the classical oscillator and Planck's oscillator. To learn about Planck's oscillator, you can go through my previous lecture, which is uploaded on YouTube channel of Gyan Bihar University School of Applied Science. So how to solve this problem? We already know that the average energy of a classical oscillator is given by epsilon equals to K into T. The value of K is 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 into T is 1800 Kelvin. So there is no need to change this. It is as it is here. Now if we solve this, we get 2.484 into 10 to the power minus 20 joule. Now the second part, the average energy of a Planck's oscillator is given by epsilon equals to h nu upon e to the power h nu upon kt minus 1. That will be equals to, if we rearrange it, or we can divide the upper part and multiply by kt. It will become h nu upon kt divided by e to the power h nu upon kt minus 1 into kt. Okay, because here we have divided h nu by kt, so we need to multiply also. Let us calculate h nu upon kt first. Now here, because it is in here also, and also it is power, there is a h nu upon kt. So how to calculate h nu upon kt? Just by putting the values, it is equals to h nu upon kt equals to 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 into 0.60 into 10 to the power 14. That is the value of nu, that is the frequency that is given by in the equation, into 10 to the power 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23. That is the average energy of classical oscillator, into 1800. That is the value of temperature T. Okay, now when we solve this, it will be written as 3.96 into 10 to the power minus 23 divided by 2.484 into 10 to the power minus 20, and that is equals to 1.59. So if you are studying that epsilon, that will become 1.59 into 2.484 into 10 to the power minus 20 divided by 2.72 to the power 1.59 minus 1, and the answer of this expression will become 1.01 into 10 to the power minus 20 joule. Now let us go to next numerical. Calculate the maximum amount of heat which may be lost per second by radiation from a sphere of 5 cm in diameter at a temperature of 600 Kelvin when placed in an enclosure at a temperature of 300 Kelvin. Here sigma is given as 5.7 into 10 to the power minus 12 watts per centimeter square per degree centigrade to the power 4. So we know already that the rate of loss of thermal energy will be maximum if the sphere radiates as black body. Now if we apply Stefan Boltzmann's law, we know that the net energy lost per unit area of the sphere per second is given by E equals to sigma into T to the power 4 minus T naught to the power 4, where T and T naught are the absolute temperatures of a sphere and the surroundings respectively, and sigma is the Stefan constant. Okay, so now where this we already have seen that sigma is the Stefan constant. So if we consider the sphere, the total surface area of the sphere can be given by 4 pi into r square. R is the radius of a sphere. So the net loss of heat from the total surface of the sphere can be given by Q equals to E into 4 pi r square, where r is the radius of the sphere. So that will be equals to, putting the value of E from this equation, it will become sigma into T to the power 4 minus T naught to the power 4. So putting the values here, we can change this expression to divide by J, so it will convert to calories per second, right? It was here in joule, we can convert it into calories per second. Now we know the values given. R equals to 2.5 centimeter because the diameter is 5 centimeter. That will be equals to 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. T equals to 600 Kelvin. T naught equals to 300 Kelvin, and sigma equals to 5.7 into 10 to the power minus 12 watts per meter per centimeter square per centimeter to the power 4. And if we solve this again, if we convert it into the metric unit, it will become 5.7 into 10 to the power minus 8 watt per meter square per Kelvin to the power 4. Okay, now we know that J also equals to 4.2 joule per calorie. Now putting all these value in the equation, we get Q equals to 5.7 into 10 to the power minus 8 into inside bracket 600 to the power 4 minus 300 to the power 4 into 4 into pi, that is 3.14 into 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 to the power 2 divided by 4.2. Now the answer is, by solving this equation, this expression, we get 12.944 calorie per second. Let us go to our next question, which is slightly logical and will use the Planck's law. Okay. So the question is, show that Planck's law reduces to Wien's law for shorter wavelength, whereas it reduced to Rayleigh-Jean's law for longer wavelength. We already know from our discussion that Rayleigh-Jean's law is only valid for longer wavelength of black body spectrum, whereas Wien's law is valid for shorter wavelength of the black body spectrum. So that means it should be it must be derived from the generalized relation that was given by Planck by the consideration of his hypothesis, quantum hypothesis, his quantum theory. Okay, so we already know that Planck's radiation law is given by E lambda d lambda equals to 8 hc upon lambda to the power 5 into d lambda upon e to the power hc upon lambda kt minus 1. That is our equation 1. We have marked this as equation 1. Now if we consider the case of shorter wavelength, what will happen? The term e to the power sc upon lambda kt will become very large in comparison to 1. So that's why we can write this expression e to the power sc upon lambda kt minus 1 by only e to the power sc upon lambda kt, right? So the Planck's law will be converted to E lambda d lambda equals to 8 pi hc upon lambda to the power 5 into d lambda upon e to the power sc upon lambda kt, right? Now since you know this 8 pi h and c, these all are constant values. They do not change with time or with conditions. So we can replace all of these by another constant that is known as a upon lambda to the power 5 into d lambda divided by e to the power sc. Again you see h and c both are constant, so we can put this value as another constant that will become e to the power b upon lambda. Now if we rearrange whole equation, it will become E lambda d lambda equals to a into lambda to the power minus 5 into e to the power minus b upon lambda t d lambda. That is our equation number 2 and known as Wien's law of energy distribution. Now we will see the second part of this question, that Rayleigh-Jean's law is also derived from the inside one. For the shorter wavelength, the term e to the power sc upon lambda kt was becoming large. But now if we consider for the longer wavelength, the term e to the power hc upon lambda kt can be approximated by the rule e to the power x equals to 1 plus x square. Now since for longer wavelength, this sc upon lambda kt will be shorter, will be very small. So in case of higher powers, where we will do this 1 plus sc upon lambda kt plus xc upon lambda kt whole square, that sc upon lambda kt whole square will be very small in comparison to other terms. So we can ignore the higher power terms and it can be approximated to 1 plus hc upon lambda kt. So the Planck's law can be reduced to E lambda d lambda equals to 8 pi hc upon lambda to the power 5 into d lambda upon 1 plus Hc upon lambda kt minus 1. Here 1 and 1 cancel out. Now this lambda kt will go upside and Hc will remain here. If we rearrange this Hc on the bottom will cancel out Hc on the top, and here 1 lambda will cancel out 1 lambda, so it will remain lambda to the power 4 here. Now the final expression will become E lambda d lambda equals to 8 pi kt divided by lambda to the power 4 into d lambda, and this is the Rayleigh-Jeans law of energy distribution. So we have seen that both of the law, Wien's law and Rayleigh-Jeans law, can be derived from the Planck's law. Now let us go to next question, which is saying derive Wien's displacement law and Stephen's law from Planck's radiation law. Again, we will derive two more laws from the Planck's radiation law, because as we have discussed already, Planck's radiation law is quite general expression which can explain whole black body spectrum very nicely and successfully. So all the other laws which have partially explained the black body spectrum should be formed from the Planck's law. So we already know that Planck's radiation law can be written as in the form of wavelength E lambda d lambda equals to 8 pi Hc upon lambda to the power 5 into d lambda upon e to the power Hc upon lambda kt minus 1. Now on differentiating this equation with respect to lambda partially, we get the energy for unit range of wavelength. That means del E lambda upon del lambda equals to 1 upon e to the power Hc upon lambda kt minus 1 into, we are just differentiating by consideration of that this term is 1 and this term is second. So if we do differentiation of the multiplied term, first we do the differentiation of this term, it remains as it is, plus it remains as it is, and we do the differentiation of this term. So we are now considering that fact and we are making the differentiation. So the first term will become 1 upon e to the power Hc upon lambda kt minus 1 as it is. We will do the differentiation of this term. So when lambda to the power minus 5 will become, on differentiation it will become minus 5 lambda to the power minus 5 minus 1. So when it come back again in the denominator, it will become minus 5 8 pi Sc upon lambda to the power 6. Similarly, when we do the differentiation of this term, the remaining term will be as it is. So at pi Hc upon lambda to the power 5 into, now we are doing the differentiation of this term, it will become e to the power x differentiation. That should be similar, very similar. So it will become Sc upon lambda square kt into e to the power Sc upon lambda kt, divide by, because this term will go on the top, it will become to the power minus 1, and when we do differentiation it will be minus 1 into e to the power Sc upon lambda kt to the power minus 2. So it will come back again. So it will be, the final expression will be del E lambda upon del lambda equals to 1 upon e to the power Sc upon lambda kt minus 1 into minus 40 pi Sc upon lambda to the power 6 plus 8 pi Sc upon lambda to the power 5 into Hc upon lambda square kt into e to the power Sc upon lambda kt divided by e to the power Sc upon lambda kt minus 1 to the power 2. Now there is a condition: if we want the maximum value of any term, then the differentiation of that term should be 0. So for the maximum energy of emission, I mean for the maximum value of E lambda, the differentiation of this with respect to wavelength, that means del E lambda upon del lambda should be equals to 0. And putting this condition in this equation, we get 0 equals to this both term. Now rearranging it, means we are taking the common term outside, and the common terms are 8 pi Hc upon e to the power Sc upon lambda kt minus 1 into lambda to the power 6 into, inside bracket it will be minus 5 plus Sc upon lambda kt into e to the power Sc upon lambda kt divided by e to the power Sc upon lambda kt minus 1 equals to 0. Now this term can go to the 0 and the remaining part will be this one, and that will be equals to 0. So this is our equation number 14. Now if we put Hc upon lambda kt equals to x in equation 14, then what we get is, we get minus 5 plus x into e to the power x. We are making this for the simplicity of the solution. We are making this minus 5 plus x into e to the power x divided by e to the power x minus 1 equals to 0. Now here we can rearrange this and we get the value as x e to the power x divided by e to the power x minus 1 equals to 5. Now by the method of approximation, we can solve this equation and we can calculate the value of x as 4.965. So x equals to hc upon lambda kt equals to 4.965. Here we know that lambda will be representing the wavelength at which energy per unit range of wavelength is maximum. So the maximum condition is applied, and that's why we can replace lambda as lambda maximum or lambda m. Now if we put this value here, it will become hc upon lambda mkt equals to 4.965. Now here if you see that hc both are constant, k is also constant, we can take it on the other side. So rearranging this equation on that assumption, we get lambda m into t equals to constant, right? And that is the form of Wien's displacement law. Now the last part of this question is to solve to derive Stephen's law from the Planck's radiation law. So now we will use the frequency term of Planck's radiation law, that is given by E nu d nu equals to 8 pi h nu cube upon c cube into 1 upon e to the power h nu upon kt minus 1 into d nu, right? So total energy over all the frequencies can be derived from this equation if we integrate this equation within limit of 0 to infinite. So we are doing the same thing. The total energy E equals to integration 0 to infinite of E nu d nu. Putting the value of E nu d nu from this equation, we get 8 pi h upon c cube integration of nu cube upon e to the power h nu upon kt minus 1 into d nu. Now putting this h nu upon kt equals to x for the simplicity, so we get nu equals to x kt upon h. After solving or differentiating this, we get d nu equals to kt upon h into dx, right? Now substituting this value in equation 11, we get E equals to 8 pi k to the power 4 t to the power 4 divided by c cube h cube integration 0 to infinite into 0 to infinite integration of x cube dx upon e to the power x minus 1. Now the value of energy E equals to 8 pi to the power 5 k to the power 4 into t to the power 4 divided by 15 c cube h cube. Because we know from the mathematical part, we know the integral value of this term is equals to pi to the power 4 divided by 15. Now you see here, every term except temperature, either it is pi, k, or c, or h, these all are constant. So we can replace all these by another new constant, that is E equals to 8 e to the power 4, where a is equals to 8 pi to the power 5 into k to the power 4 divided by 15 c cube h cube. Or we can write this equation, because this is a proportionality constant, this will become E is proportional to t to the power 4, where a is known as radiation constant, right? Now once we get this equation, E is proportional to t to the power 4, we can write it again E equals to another constant, and this time we will use Stephen's constant, and you can see this form is a Stephen-Boltzmann's law, that is E equals to sigma t to the power 4. The only thing is the value of sigma, Stephen's constant, is given by AC upon 4. While putting the value of A here, we get sigma value equals to 2 pi to the power 5 k to the power 4 divided by 15 c square h cube, and that is known as Stephen's constant. Okay, so this is all. This was last numerical for today. I hope all the examples, all the numericals are quite useful to understand all the laws, all the rules related to radiation. You have understood all the black body spectrum on the basis of Wien's law and everything. And finally, we have solved two numericals which were useful and which has deduced that Planck's law is a general form of all the different laws which were used classically to explain black body spectrum. Okay, I hope everything is clear. If still you have any queries, any suggestions, you can write down a comment on this video. And for further study or for further understanding of related topics related to radiation, you can go through other videos that are uploaded on our YouTube channel, School of Applied Science, Suresh Gyan Bihar University. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for